Now, we talked about knee pronation, and pronation is an internal rotation. This is the original configuration, and we do the right balance express, and we see that that left knee in this particular illustration, and again, in right-handers, I found almost always it's the left knee. So we have a right shoulder down, right hip up, and pronation or inward turning of that left knee. And you can see that it impacts the femur here, and it does. And what appears to be a collapsed arch, if you look down in bare feet, you'll notice one foot appears to be wider than the other, and that is going to be also a result of this knee pronation, and it appears to be a collapsed arch. After we do the right balance express, we still see that knee pronation. There is not much correction. For quite a while I used a very small arch support, and it corrected it as long as you had multiple arch supports for multiple shoes. Now we're able to correct it through a different exercise, and I want to show you what that exercise is now. Now, when we talked about leveling the hips and shoulders, there was also a discussion in the e-books, in particular for certification, on knee pronation. And the way you check is just get just inside shoulder width, and knee flex, and then hold the knee flex, and then move your head so you're right over the middle of your right knee, and then right over the middle of your left knee. And one of the things you're going to notice is that you have internal rotation or pronation of one side. For right-handers, I'd say 90% of the time it's the left knee. So I'm looking at the right knee, it's right over the middle. Look at the left knee, you'll see an internal rotation. I've done the express and I've done the exercise correction I'm going to show you today, but I want you to notice that. So take a good look at it, repeat it, because this is going to be very important for your students. Any cutting motion, when you have that knee pronation, any cutting motion, sudden abrupt movement laterally, in any direction really, puts additional stress. When the femur is not lined up properly, we have increased stress on the knee joint. You may see anterior, posterior cruciate ligament tears, meniscus tear. You might get any kind of injury. So please keep that in mind as you do this, because this is a very simple correction. I'm going to be using my 9 stance widths that you've seen many, many times, coming from, if you don't have these after watching this video, see a right balance professional, they'll do your measurements, and they will provide this for you. So we're going to move to a new device here. This is something a right balance professional in Shanghai, Joseph Tangdrum. Joseph said we should pick up finger sleeves. These finger sleeves have actually an interior rib that I'm going to put this one on any finger, on my lower core, and it just slides right on, and you want to put the rib right over the second pad up for my lower core. And I'm going to do the same thing. I can do it on any finger. I have a red one here that I'm going to put on my upper core, on my index. These are easy to apply. You can reuse them, and they're available online, Amazon. Just search for finger sleeves. Easy for your students to use. And my last one I'm going to put on my little finger here on the first knuckle up for my mid-core. So, and here is, I'm going to show you the exercise now. I'm just going to use the blue hip bar. So, we've always done the right balance express with the shaft, whatever we're using in the grip, vertical. Now we're going to move to horizontal. So, as I go into I'm just going to do the express with a horizontal plane. So, I go forward, count to 5 here. The longer you hold this, the longer that knee pronation will be corrected. I'm going to tilt back, pinch my shoulder blades together. It is the right balance express on the horizontal plane. It is the correction of the knee pronation. And I'm going to go to 2. It's so simple. That's number 3. So I'm going to fast forward through this for you to a video, so we'll get to the end of the exercise, but I do want you to go through all 9 on number 4. And number 8. And 9. Now, you absolutely have to do all 9. If you'll recall the test, self-test, to see if I did all 9 or if I missed one, do these hands hang exactly the same height? And they do. So you want to do it with the finger sleeves on or the gauze tape, whatever you're using. I'll go to a different number and my hands are exactly the same height. So I've done all 9. So now I want you to go back, same width, and actually doesn't matter what width, but you'll notice now you've corrected that knee pronation. Very simple. If you hold that instead of a count of 5 on each isometric position, it'll last a good 24 hours. You're going to feel minor changes in your quads and your hamstrings, maybe into the hip a little bit. You'll feel some muscles you haven't used, but no pain. You'll just start to become aware of it. You are now correcting a long-term problem that had set you up for injury. Women in particular have many more ACL injuries. You want to make sure you're doing strengthening exercise of the quads, hamstrings, all and the knee joint in general, and the muscles surrounding, so that you could have good support. Now when you run, when you walk, if you're on the baseball field and you're moving laterally, you're not going to put extra stress. Soccer, cycling, whatever you're doing now, golf, the finish. So when I finish now, I'm going to be right over that side. I don't have this knee pronation. It's going to impact my address, my balance, my finish. So no matter what activity you're in, this is a simple exercise to correct a pretty significant physical problem. If you've watched up to this point or you've read, we were using a small insert for an insole, arch support. So when you look down at your feet, by the way, barefooted, you'll notice that one foot appears to be wider than the other. You probably already know that. And maybe you've realized that in purchasing shoes. This is a function of the knee pronation. So no longer do you need that arch support to correct. You may need an arch support, but not for this. So please be aware of that, and you're going to have some very supportive changes as a result of this Wright Balance Express exercise on the horizontal plane. Thank you for watching.